Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is August 17, 2022, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of today, the U.S. stocks continue to climb even higher. But first, looking at the major economic events of today, earlier this morning, out of the United Kingdom, we had a yearly CPI number coming out. It did affect the GBP. Looking at later news today at 2:30 South African time out of the United States, we have core retail sales numbers coming out. And then at 9 p.m., we have an FOMC meeting minutes out of the United States. Now, looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the Australian dollar did sell off. And looking at the indices, the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones continue to climb even further. Looking at commodities, gold and oil both trickle lower. Looking at the stocks, Apple, Google, and Amazon all continue to lead the pack higher. Once again, hasn't changed since yesterday. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin, pretty much unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're looking at the Australian dollar. You can see that quite clearly. The sell-off from 71.70-ish level to 69.70, almost a 200 pip move on the downside, and that's a major retracement. So looking at it at a daily, it's 2 days that it's selling off already as it's gotten to this level once again. So it's choppy trading, but it is retracing. Now the question is, this was the strongest one. Will it affect the euro? Will it affect the GBP? So let's take a look at it. So looking at the euro first, it did sell off, but not major. Okay, so the euro not as affected by it. But looking at the GBP USD earlier this morning and yesterday, did get that spike. We finally hit that 200-day moving average on the daily, on the 4-hour chart, but did not hit it on the other time frames. So we're still pretty weak when it comes to the GBP USD, just not affected by the euro so much by it. So keep that in mind. So I would still look at the Australian dollar to see if it does continue to sell off. Maybe it'll hit the lower 69-ish level if it continues this momentum. Now jumping commodities, gold trading at 1772. It's within a 15 to 20 pip range, okay, $20 range, as it hit 1800, and we did retrace from that. This is pretty much a level where I would say it's a quote-unquote bottom, at least for now, because that's about 50% between our Fibonacci retracement. Now looking at crude oil, we did sell off even further to $86 a barrel, and that correction is happening. And I did mention this, okay, as it's made this correction, if we look at it in hindsight, it looks like a perfect downwards trend, okay, as oil is coming down further. So keep that in sight as this could continue making corrections on the downside. Now looking at the Dow Jones, breaking 200-day moving average on a daily chart is momentous at 34,000. Now our high was 36,600-ish level. So now we're about 50% of our retracement on the Dow Jones from year to year. So this bullish market could be just an impetus for us going into the fall. So just keep that in mind as we're hitting these levels, which is significantly high. Looking at the NASDAQ, also trading at 13,596. It is having challenges at this 13,600-ish level, so keep that in mind as well. Now jumping into the stocks, Apple continued to trade higher, 173, or just, hovering around that area. Microsoft also hovering about that 200-day moving average on a daily, not breaking above it, which is really very important as well. So this is something to keep an eye on. Amazon on its highs, but not breaking higher. Okay, they're still the leader of the pack, and they're still on their highs, but they got to keep on going upwards if that momentum is going to sustain itself. Lastly, looking at Bitcoin, not doing much. I mean, we're trickling higher, and then we're retracing, but on a really tight range, okay? So not necessarily the most important thing to jump into right now, as cryptocurrencies are kind of consolidating after the massive losses that they've had from the beginning of the year until now. They may start perking up, but we've got to see that follow through and some value hitting above 25K. That's really important to see that. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.